What's up YouTube, Dale here from Zephyr, and today I am bringing an update to a deck profile that I haven't done for a while now, but it is one of the decks that I really thoroughly do enjoy, and that is Thunder Dragons. So before I get started on this profile, massive shout out to Dan. So Dan played this deck, and I'm pretty sure he's been playing it this general format anyway, at one of the last locals that we had in Stevenage, and it just kind of really took me back, and I was like, oh, I miss playing Thunder Dragon Colossus, and it's actually really, really good, because Colossus is still a giant pain in the backside to deal with. So I took inspiration from that after seeing that door, after being part of that door as well. I was like, you know what, I'm going to rebuild Thunder Dragons. I'm going to utilize the Horus package just like Dan did as well, but you can very easily sub out the Horus package for pretty much anything you want, whether it wants to be the Chaos cards. If you want to step it up a level, you can go for the Canine cards, or you can max out some of the field breaking options that I've put in this list. So with all of that out of the way, I'm going to take you through the entire profile, the extra deck and a side deck, which is what I'm trying to be doing with as many profiles as possible this side of the year, just to kind of give you as much as you possibly need in one video. So smash that like button, hit that notification bell, and subscribe so you don't miss out on any more upcoming content. Starting off with the Thunder Dragons themselves. So we're going to be playing free Thunder Dragon. Now, I would like to say you don't need to play this card, but it's Thunder Dragon. You have to play this card. The one thing you've got to be very, very careful with this deck is that Drow and Lockbird does run around. So with Drow and Lockbird, that's where I'd possibly consider, if your environment is very heavy on Drow and Lockbird, you might want to consider stuff like Call by the Grave, Crossout Designator, or stuff like Sales Ban if you wanted to. But what I try to do instead is I try to make this build a little bit more aggressive. So if when I do get hit with Drow and Lockbird, I still have fallback options for either field breaking cards, or I can move into the Horus package. If you play 3 Thunder Dragons, you can risk it by discarding just 1 Thunder Dragon to then grab 1 Thunder Dragon rather than 2. The reason you do that is more so for Titan than anything else. More times than not, you do want to go Thunder Dragon discard, add both copies. And this is where the Horus package really does help itself out, because by doing so, you're replacing 1 card for 2, so you're plus 1 card. So when you start to utilize the Horus card effects of being able to use King Sarcophagus, you've got that free discard in the hand so you don't burn all of your resource. Then we've got free Thunder Dragon Roar. So with free Thunder Dragon Roar, the idea behind this one is all of the more modernized Thunder Dragon cards, and my gosh, would I love to get some more Thunder Dragon card or Thunder Dragon support this year, would be insane, all have 2 different effects. So this one lets you discard this card to then add to your hand one of your Thunder Dragon cards that is banished or in the graveyard except itself. But then if it is banished or sent from the field to the graveyard, you get to special on a Thunder Dragon monster from the deck in defense position, but you return it to the hand during the end phase. You can only use 1 effect per turn, so either discard or the banish/send. The exact same could be said for the Thunder Dragon Dark. So this one has a quick effect to discard it to then add another copy of itself. Again, the benefit of this one is that you can trigger off your Thunder Dragon Titan coming from the extra deck. Its more beneficial effect when you're going first is if it's banished or sent from field to grave, you add any Thunder Dragon card from the deck to the hand. Now, it's important that it's a Thunder Dragon card because it also does mean you can get hold of Thunder Dragon Fusion if you wanted to go down that route. The final modernized Thunder Dragon monster is the one Thunder Dragon Hawk that has the discard and then send effect. So this one lets you discard to special on one of your banished Thunder Dragon monsters or from the graveyard. And then its send effect is, or banish effect, is you get to shuffle any number of cards from the hand back into the deck and then draw the same number of cards. Then the final Thunder Dragon monster in the main deck is 2 Thunder Dragon Matrix. This is questionable whether you want it at 1 or 2. The benefit of playing it at 2 is the fact you have another quick effect, Thunder effect, you can utilize during your opponent's turn. Should you discard this card as a quick effect, target a Thunder Dragon monster you control and it gains 500 attack. This would of course then trigger Titan. Its send effect / banish effect lets you add a Thunder Dragon Matrix from the deck to the hand. So sometimes that does come up, and what I mean by that is you could very easily have to normal summon down your Thunder Dragon Matrix, then banish it with a Bestial monster, then trigger the effect to search out another copy. So again, you're maintaining your hand advantage. But on top of that as well, it can also be one of these cards that can be sent. It's also one of the cards that can be summoned, and it just kind of lets you maintain a bit more resource. Then for the normal summons of the deck, I go with 3 Batteryman Solar, and I still like to play 2 Aloof Lupine. Now, as I've mentioned previously in other builds, the idea behind Aloof Lupine is it's a lot harder to stop completely. Now, what I mean by that is this one lets you banish 1 from the hand. So this will let you banish 1 from the hand and then 1 of the same type from the deck. The benefit of that one is you can technically banish 2 Thunder Dragon monsters, gets you both effects. This comboed off with something like your Thunder Dragon Dark Thunder Dragon Roar, is absolutely insane. Even a Thunder Dragon Dark still gets the same outcome. But the idea is that you would then be able to banish the Roar from the deck or whatever you need to, giving you a Thunder Dragon monster on the field, while also the only thing that will stop this card is if it does get imperm, veilered, dropleted, or anything else like that, you only stop the secondary send or secondary banish from the deck. You'd still be able to trigger off your Thunder Dragon Roar, so they need to have 2 cards in order to stop this, because they would have to go, cool, Chain Link 1, Aloof Lupine. They would then go, cool, Chain Link 2, Infinite Impermanence, or Effect Veiler. Then on a new chain, you'd have to go Chain Link 1, Thunder Dragon Roar, and they'd go Chain Link 2, Ash Blossom. So you've traded 2 cards for 2 cards. So it still balances itself out. Whereas the difference with Batteryman Solar is it can be ashed, so you can't send your Thunder monster from the deck to the grave. It can be impermed, it can be veiled, it can be dropleted, anything can negate it, can stop it. It's still a very good card, which is why I lean on this more than the Aloof Lupine, because the Aloof Lupine is specific on normal summon. The other benefit of Aloof Lupine is it is dark, so it can be utilised as on Law of Darkness targets. Now, I'm only playing 2 Law of Darkness just to kind of respect Droll, but honestly, if you're playing Thunder Dragons, you probably just, especially with the Horus cards as well, you probably go, you know what, if you've got Droll, you've got Droll. But I wanted to try and minimise as many cards that would clog up my hand, because I don't want to see Imseti plus a Law of Darkness plus Thunder Dragon, because then I'll go Imseti, try to bait out any form of an Ash, and if it doesn't happen, I get the Imseti search in the draw, and then they go Droll, and then I'm like, right, okay, cool, I'm okay with this, because I just discard the Allure, I discard the Thunder Dragon off of the back of the King Sarcophagus, send the monsters from the deck to the grave, and then summon out a monster that could either help me extend or help me protect. Final Thunder Dragon monster, or not Thunder Dragon monster, Thunder Dragon card in the main deck is Thunder Dragon Fusion. So it lets you recycle your banished materials or your graveyard, and then can also be banished from the graveyard to add a Thunder Dragon monster. Just kind of a nice option to have for a bit of a grind state, but again, you can cut it out completely if you want to. Then we've got some power spell cards in the form of Foolish Burial and Gold Sarcophagus. Gold Sarcophagus, like banish any of your Thunder Dragon monsters, trigger their effects, off you go. Foolish Burial, send them from deck to grave and then use them as banish fodder. You don't have to rely on this. It's just one of the ones that really kind of combos off with Abystial to get you the most advantage. It can also help you send an Imseti from deck to grave, because Imseti is a dark monster, and more times than not, your opponent will always try and target that with Abystial or with a DD Crow, if that's in the environment. Then moving on to the supporting factors. So we do play a very small Horus package of 3 Imseti, 1 Happy, and 2 King Sarcophagus. This will be a lot easier to maintain or gather after the Charmer Spirit decks or the Spirit Charmer decks. The idea is that this is all going to be reprinted in it. So if you do buy the Spirit Charmer decks, or if your friend buys them and's like, I just wanted the new cards, I don't want these, you should be able to pick them up really easy. But the idea is you discard Imseti plus another card. That will then allow you to search King Sarcophagus and draw a card. Keep in mind the card that you discard, if it's a Thunder Dragon monster and you've got a Bystial in hand, you go, okay, cool, Bystial, target, banish, and you gain more advantage from it. Like, you don't really want your Thunder Dragon monsters in the hand. Sometimes they can be helpful with their discard effects. Like, the only one you want in your hand is Hawk, but even then you only want it at 1 and you only want it when you want it. So there's a lot of things to kind of consider. Then for the non-engine hand interactions, we've got 3 Mulchummy Foolos, 3 Ash Blossom, and then 3 Bystials. Now, the reason that I quite like the Bystials in here is that they are a form of extender for the deck, they're a form of disruption for the deck, and they are a form of being able to kind of banish your own stuff and trigger their effects. So I think these are really kind of cool options. You can take these out. If you were to take these out, I would consider putting Forbidden Droplet to 3. I would consider putting Super Polymerization to 3. At the moment, I'm playing both of them at 2 because I'm indecisive. But the idea is behind these, you're just playing 9 non-engine. These are mainly for going second, or like only for going second. You decide them out for going first, and I'll show you some cards you can put in. Ash Blossom is just generically quite good, and if you do get hit with like a Mulchummy Foolos or a Perudia, you have a reaction to that. And then the Bystials, it can come up even more effective in an environment that is playing lights and darks, and then you Bystial their monsters is always going to benefit you more. But when there are times when you need to get your Thunder Dragon monsters to the graveyard, whether that be off the back of Forbidden Droplet, whether that be off the back of your Batteryman Solar, your Imseti, or your Super Polymerization, you're basically making sure you're gaining as much advantage as possible when you're putting your Thunder Dragon cards to the graveyard. And then we do play 2 Super Polymerization, 2 Forbidden Droplet, and the 1 Reasoning. So with the Reasoning, it can get a little bit risky, again, which is why it's a 41 card build. You could take out Reasoning. You could bump this up to 42 cards if you wanted to and go for 3 and 3. You've got a lot of flexibility behind it. But the idea behind this one with Reasoning is we play with our Thunder Dragons are naturally level 5s and level 6s. The Bystials are level 6s. Then you've got Foolos, which is a level 4, Ash Blossom a level 3, Batteryman Solar, which is a level 4, and Aloof Lupine, which is a level 3. So you've got a very big range from 3, 4, 5, and 6, which could make it very awkward as a nice extension. And if your opponent doesn't know what you're playing or is not familiar with the Horus package as well, so actually you go all the way up to 8. If they're not familiar with the Horus package in the deck, if they're not familiar with the deck in general, they will just be randomly trying to pick a number in their head to think what is the most effective to call, to then try and affect you, and you're like, okay, cool, well, you're not going to call the right one. If it does succeed, it acts as a foolish barrel. If it doesn't succeed for their call, you get a monster to the field for free. So very good kind of risk and reward on that one. So that's it for the entire main deck. Now to show you the extra deck, and then I'll show you the side deck. So for the extra deck, we are playing the Mac Daddy himself, 2 Thunder Dragon Colossus. So the fact of the matter is that must be fusion summoned or special summoned during the turn a Thunder monster's effect was activated when the hand by triggering a Thunder effect monster. So easy to make this card, it's great. On top of that as well, cards cannot be added from the main deck to your opponent's hand except by drawing them. And if this card would be destroyed by battle or card effect, you get a banish a Thunder monster from the grave instead. It's just so good. The fact it's got built-in protection, the fact that in a format where Draw and Lockbird is very, very effective is where this card particularly will shine. But what I like about this build is it doesn't only centrally focus on the Thunder Dragon Colossus. You can utilize Thunder Dragon Colossus as a level 8 monster to make you a rank 8 play. You could utilize it to get you into your bigger boss monster, being the Thunder Dragon Titan. You've got a couple of different ways that can give you the most advantage from these. But the idea is if you're able to sit on 2 Thunder Dragon Colossuses in the right matchup, it's going to be very difficult to break. Yes, people have imperms, they have chalices, they have droplets, but they can't always guarantee to open them up. And that's where some of your side deck cards come into play to help you protect from those. And that's kind of where you still also have other cards that will try to detract from your opponent's attention. Just having 1 Colossus is more than enough. But if you do put them in a predicament where you're like, cool, I've got 2 Colossus, plus I've also got the ability of having a Hope Harbinger, or I've got the number 90 Galaxy Lord, you have 2 ways of disrupting them. They will then be forced to negate both the Colossus and leaves one of you open. If they want to go droplet and send 3, by all means go for it. They've just burnt 4 cards from their hand. They're only going to have 2 more to play with, and that doesn't take into account any of the other cards you might have, whether that be your droplets, your super polys, your ash blossoms. You'll still have enough to back yourself up. Then, speaking of the rank 8s, we've got the 1 Ding. This is to help you from destruction effects and then be able to non-target send. You've got your number 90 Galaxy Lord as your monster negator, Hope Harbinger as your spell negator, Zombie Vampire as your extender, and then you've got your Star Slayer Typhon as just one of them really kind of odd matchups where you're like, this will put in a lot of work for me against a Mitsurugi. So, then for the Link monsters, I've gone with IP Masquerena, and then I've gone with loads of IP Masquerena targets, but again, completely flexible. Change them out if you see fit. So you've got the 1 SP Little Knight, probably the best one to be going for. Then I've got the 1 Gorgon of Xylophenia. The idea behind this one is just that it's another nice target to come off the back of IP Masquerena that can shut down some zones and protect your Colossus from being run over by battle if they're trying to do that with a clear graveyard. Then we've got the 1 Underworld Goddess of the Closed World just to help you out towers. So trying to out stuff like a Liger Dancer could be quite useful for you. But again, completely flexible. You could cut these 2 out. Ultimately, if you cut these 2 out, you probably cut out the IP Masquerena as well. It's just some of them times where you want to get your monsters from the field to the grave. You want some generic link monsters that you can make. And then for your generic synchro monster, I've got the Chaos Angel, because you've got your Bestials, which are darks. You've got Batteryman Solar, which is a light level 4. So that's how you can get a maximum strength Chaos Angel. You then have 2 Thunder Dragons, so a Thunder Dragon Dark and Original Thunder Dragon, both 1 light 5, 1 dark 5. They can make a full power Chaos Angel. And then you do have a couple of different options as well, as you do have Thunder Dragons that are level 6s. You've got your Batteryman Solar as well. There are ways to make it. It's just one of them ones of a safety net. If you need it, if you feel it's going to be effective and you can make it, you go for it. The final 2 cards are generic Super Poly targets in the form of the Mud Dragon of the Swamp and the Garura of Wings of Resonance Life. If your environment is full Draco Tail, I highly advise you be looking into a Secturion Dragon, just because I feel this is like the best Super Poly target. But this is just a generic target specifically for the Draco Tail matchup. If you just want your generics, you've got these 2 here. And if you did want to take out the Underworld Goddess and you wanted to take out like another card as well, you could then work your way into a Predaplant Dracostapelia or a Starving Venom Fusion Dragon. So you're trying to cover all your bases where at all possible. So that's it for the entire main deck and the extra deck. Now to show you a demo side deck. So for the monsters of the demo side deck, I've gone with 3 Retaliating Sea. This is mainly in here again for the Dracotale matchup, but if any other matchup has a particular requirement that special summons a monster via a spell effect, you can utilize this against them. It semi-benefits you because being able to banish your own cards as well could be really, really useful to trigger off your Thunder Dragon monsters. But then on top of that as well, is if you use this as link material, it kind of just clears itself off the field and you're stunning your opponent for a turn. Then we've got 3 Drow and Lockbird. Again, just one of these ones where if the environment calls for it, Drow and Lockbird will answer that call and be very, very effective. You're better off having it and not using it than needing it and not having it. You can, if your environment is like, we don't care about Drow and Lockbird, none of our decks do any searching, very rare, but okay. You would go for Artifact Lancia because chances are if they're not doing a lot of searching, it's probably like all Malice, and even then Malice search a couple of times here and there anyway. But this is an option for you. I then play 2 Triple Tactics Thrust, and then bar any of the normal spell cards in the main deck, so Thunder Dragon Fusion, Gold Sarcophagus, Foolish Burial, you then start to side in certain targets. So for going first, I've got Eradicator, Epidemic Virus, and a Different Dimension Ground. So if my opponent wants to search, but they want to be playing loads of spells or traps, I can eradicate them. This could very easily become a Harpy's Feather Duster if you wanted to. Different Dimension Ground, again, just another way to be able to go, okay, well, I don't mind my stuff getting banished, do you? And then for going second, I've got Evenly Matched, and I've got Triple Tactic Talents. Now, there's nothing more devastating than seeing your opponent go, you activate a monster event, and they go, Triple Tactics Thrust, and they go, okay, cool, what are you going to grab? And they either grab an Evenly Matched and go, blow out your entire field, or they go, Talents, either to draw 2 cards, or just to look at your hand and go, right, let's take away that card that's going to cause you an issue. So I feel these are probably the best 2 options for going second. Again, Harpy's Feather Duster is a definite option for you as well, and you can kind of adapt your targets as you see fit. And then the final card I'm currently playing is 3 Iron Thunder. Just to be able to deal with Forbidden Droplets, Dark Lord of No Mores, cards like that that would stop my Colossus. If I want Colossus to be the main Mac Daddy, or if I want Titan to be my Mac Daddy, or Hope Harbinger, number 90, you name it, I'm quite partial to Iron Thunder right now. I just think it's a really kind of good card. Yes, it is a little bit more specific because when a spell or trap or monster effect is activated on the field, you pay half your life points to negate the activation if you do destroy that card. But then you get an added benefit to destroy any other cards in the same column the destroyed card was in that are in the monster zone or spell and trap zone. So it's a complete clear out of that entire zone, which is really quite helpful. These are just kind of alternative options to stuff like Judgment as well. So that's it for the entire main deck, the extra deck, and a demo side deck. So, if you do have any questions, by all means, please put in the comments down below. I am always happy to answer them. This is just a deck that, like I said, massive shout out to Dan at the start of the video, was something that kind of really sparked my interest again. I was like, oh, I really miss playing Thunder Dragon Colossus. Now, I'm not saying Thunder Dragons are the best deck around because if you're being honest with yourself, they're obviously not. It's just a really, really good, fun deck that I used to really enjoy playing. And one of my biggest highlights with this deck was playing it with dinosaurs and calling it Dino Thunder, just because. Yeah, and I really did enjoy it. So Dan, thank you so much for sparking the creativity back into me. I've taken inspiration from what I saw during the duel as well. Playing the Horus package, I could see where they'd be quite useful for you. I know he also had some secrets that he kept to himself, so playing some of the Chaos cards as well. But it really is entirely up to you. I really do enjoy the deck. It's something a little bit different. It's something I haven't done for a while, so I thought it was well deserving of an update. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. Do like, comment, subscribe, share. Till next time, as absolutely always, stay safe and, of course, happy dueling.